trying to understand all the blood that's on your hands. Your silence is deadening me. Your silence is scaring me. In spite of the memories, your silence is all I need. Pretty little pictures on the wall, it's just a shame you don't see it all. I got my pretty little knife ready for your life. It's such a shame you won't get your fill. Pretty little pictures on the wall, it's just a shame you don't see it all. I got my pretty little knife ready for your life. It's such a shame you won't.
You feel me? Yeah. You feel me? Nah, that's real. Keep it all West Coast, cause I feel like we cats don't show us the love out here. Dago, putting on for the town. Tell me about it.
Coming back and spend the night, come get me like a for my generation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, it's another product of the anger in the nation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, it's another product of the anger in the nation. It's another product, it's another product of the anger in the nation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, it's another product of the anger in the nation. East to the coast from New York to LA. East Coast, the short is where I stay. Got a mad style of frustration. It's another product, it's another product. East to the coast from New York to LA. East Coast, the short is where I stay. Got a mad style of frustration. It's another product of the anger in the nation. East to the coast from New York to LA. Power to the people that struggle every day. East to the cruise from New York to LA. Power to the people that struggle every day. The East Coast, Mecca shore is where I stay. When I had no loot, I used to cool around my way. Peace to the cruise from New York to LA. Power to the people that struggle every day. The East Coast, Mecca shore is where I stay. When I had no loot, I used to cool around my way. I got a mad style of frustration. Just another product of the anger in the nation. Just another product of the anger in the nation. Just another product of the anger in the nation. Anger in the nation. Anger in the nation. Anger in the anger in the anger in the anger in the I drop bombs for my generation.
Fuck that.
It's another product, it's another product of the anger in the nation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, it's another product of the anger in the nation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, it's another product of the anger in the nation. Power to the people, now it's power to the people that struggle every day. It's another product, it's another product of the anger in the nation. East to the coast from New York to LA. East Coast, the short is where I stay. Got a mad style of frustration. It's another product, it's another product. East to the coast from New York to LA. East Coast, the short is where I stay. Got a mad style of frustration. It's another product of the anger in the nation.
Everybody get come around with the everybody get down. That's right. Everybody get down. Everybody get down. That's right.
This shit fucking hard, bro.
Everybody get down. That's right. Everybody get down. Everybody get down. That's right.
I'm sorry to everybody else. I gotta go after that.
I'm up the shit with my brother. I'm up the shit with my. I'm up the shit with my brothers. Keep it.
Hey everybody, welcome to CORSAIR Live. I'm George Makris, and today we're going to be talking about the new CORSAIR VOYAGER a1600 gaming laptop. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's more than just a gaming laptop. There's hardware in here that no other laptop in the world has. We're going to talk to the experts, figure out what we did and how we did it. We're going to answer your guys' questions of the details, and maybe at the end of it, we'll give some cool stuff away. But before we go too far, how about we roll some tape? Okay, so that's pretty impressive. Obviously, it's a high-performance laptop with a lot of technology in it. To talk more about that, we're going to go to Kevin, who's the Origin PC founder down in Miami. Hey, Kevin, how's it going in Miami?
Hey George, thanks for having me. Everything's great in Miami. We can finally talk about Voyager. It's a great laptop for content creation, for streaming, but my favorite, it's a great gaming laptop.
So let's start with the display. Obviously, sitting in front of a laptop, you're staring at the screen all the time. Give us a little bit of rundown with the tech specs and some cool stuff about that.
So George, Voyager brings a lot to the table. The first thing you're going to notice is the beautiful 16.1-inch screen. So it's specially calibrated from the factory to give you precise colors. Also has 2560 by 1600 resolution, so your graphics are going to look insane. It has AMD FreeSync and has a 240 Hz refresh rate. Now that 240 Hz refresh rate means your graphics and your games are going to run super butter smooth.
So, okay, that's the screen. The screen's great. That sounds awesome. I love 16 by 10. Let's talk about what's under the keyboard, all the cool stuff that actually makes that screen look good, the CPU and GPU. Give us a little bit of rundown on what's inside it.
Well, George, Voyager is powered by some incredible hardware. First, it's got an AMD Ryzen 9 6900HS processor. Then it has an AMD Radeon 6800M graphics card. Those two things combined together, that's the only way you get the AMD Advantage. Now, the AMD Advantage framework is going to give you things like higher frames in your games, better performance, higher fidelity graphics, even more battery life. It also has 32 gigabytes of CORSAIR DDR5 Vengeance memory and a 2 terabyte M.2 SSD. So you could load all your favorite games, everything will be super fast, open all those browser windows, and with the power of AMD, you're going to have an incredible gaming laptop.
All right, so we know that you have the best screen. We know you have great hardware in there. How do we cool that? I mean, we know that from a desktop perspective, getting the performance out of your desktop, you need great cooling, great airflow. How did we solve that problem on this laptop?
Yeah, that's a great question. When we were designing Voyager, we knew we were going to have insanely powerful hardware, and we wanted to keep it in a thin laptop. So the way to do that was design something that's super efficient. What we did is we designed a state-of-the-art vapor chamber. That vapor chamber is going to keep your CPU and your GPU cool. Whether you're gaming for long sessions or streaming or rendering, your CPU and GPU temperatures are going to remain in check.
So we got great cooling, we got a great screen, we got a great CPU and GPU. Is there anything else we should know? What else is going on in here that we might want to get some tech specs on?
One of my favorite features of the laptop is actually the keyboard. It's got Cherry MX ultra low profile key switches. What this means is it's a mechanical keyboard, but in a laptop. So you get that tactile feel, you get that audible click. It feels good, it sounds good. A lot of people say it's the best gaming keyboard they've experienced on a laptop. Now we're also going to have per back key RGB backlighting. Every key on here is powered by Capellix LEDs. CORSAIR exclusive Capellix LEDs are actually ultra bright LEDs, and they're ultra power efficient. This is great because you're going to get great gaming, you're going to get great colors, and you're not going to use your battery. All of this is powered by iCUE. CORSAIR iCUE software allows you to sync your keyboard with all of your CORSAIR peripherals. So you look good and you feel good while you're playing.
So speaking about CORSAIR peripherals, obviously we have wired peripherals with USB and stuff, but we also have some slipstream peripherals like wireless headsets, wireless mice. Does this have that integrated as well?
Now, CORSAIR Slipstream is our exclusive technology, and we thought of everything with Voyager. We actually built in Slipstream to the laptop. What that means is you don't need a dongle. Nobody likes carrying around a dongle, so forget the dongle, leave it at home. Instead, just pack your CORSAIR Slipstream peripherals. Any of those peripherals can pair with the laptop very easily, and then you're actually getting wireless technology that's just as fast as wired. It's super easy and efficient. I love that we have Slipstream built into Voyager.
All right, Kevin, that sounds awesome, man. Thanks very much for that, and I appreciate it.
Thanks, George.
All right, so we have one of the best displays in any laptop in the world. We have the best hardware inside any laptop in the world. We have a mechanical keyboard. We got all that stuff handled. The technical side of it is great. Now let's talk about what you're doing with it. There are a lot of people who want to stream from their laptops, and this is the best streaming laptop in the world. So who better to talk to about the best streaming laptop in the world than the guy who runs the best streaming company in the world, Julian Fest, who runs our Elgato division.
Hey, George. Thanks for having me. Excited to be here and talk about the Voyager laptop.
All right, so the first thing you'll notice when you look at the Voyager laptop is across the top of the keyboard, there's these S keys, S1 to S10. Can you give us a little bit of a rundown on what those do? They have built-in Stream Deck integration.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The S keys on the Voyager have native Stream Deck integration. And let's maybe just take a second to talk about what Stream Deck actually is and how this all works together. Stream Deck is a piece of software that allows you to map really complex functionality onto a single key that you simply press to execute it. It's basically a piece of software that talks to all your other favorite software to make sure you never have to use hotkeys again. So Stream Deck integrates with a lot of apps, certainly in the streaming ecosystem, very popular ones like OBS, platforms like Twitch and YouTube, but it also integrates with a lot of other applications that are popular in creator workflows, but really just general workflows, anything from Twitter to Discord to Zoom, Teams, Spotify, even things like PowerPoint. So there's a lot of functionality that Stream Deck can handle for you, including things like controlling your IQ lighting or even Philips Hue, Nanoleaf, and other lighting. So there's a lot of functionality that Stream Deck software brings to the table. And with the CORSAIR Voyager laptop, you'll have access to all of this functionality with the built-in S keys that you can just drag and drop actions onto.
So that sounds pretty awesome. Is there any other laptop in the world, or is this the world's first that has this built in?
I can say for a fact that this is the first laptop that has native Stream Deck integration. So this is something we've been working on together within the CORSAIR group, between the CORSAIR and the Elgato team, to make this happen. And I think it's a really nice solution that we're bringing to market here that makes complex functionality really accessible on the fly in one integrated solution. So it's really a great part of the Voyager experience, and I think people are really going to enjoy it.
So I don't use my Stream Deck for streaming. I don't stream at all. I love my Stream Deck. I use it for a lot of non-streaming stuff. Why don't you give some people a rundown of some of the things you can do with Stream Deck that aren't necessarily tied to streaming 100%?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me give you some examples of non-streaming use cases for Stream Deck. One of them is sort of related to streaming, because we all spend so much time on video calls these days. So Stream Deck can work natively with applications like Zoom, Microsoft Teams, and others, which just makes fumbling around in your video calls a thing of the past. It's also become a very popular tool for editors, whether you're photo editing, video editing. Stream Deck can really speed up your workflow. And then just general control with apps that you use frequently. For example, I love using Stream Deck to control Spotify. I love it to control my lights. It obviously controls all my Elgato lights, but it can also control CORSAIR IQ lighting. It can control things like Philips Hue or Nanoleaf lights. There's really a very broad spectrum of apps, platforms, and services that Stream Deck can interface with that are not just live streaming related.
So it's like having a Stream Deck Mini in your backpack, except you don't have to carry it with you, right? It's not something you have to have, then plug in and worry about where it is.
That's exactly right. It's even better than the Stream Deck Mini, because you've got 10 S keys and you've got access to the full suite of Stream Deck functionality. So you can create profiles, you can create pages that you can cycle through. You've got, you don't have LCD keys, but what you do have is a floating window on the bottom of your screen, so you always know what's going on and what the status of, for example, your microphone is. Is it live? Is it muted? And this is something that with a tap of a key on the S bar, you can also hide if you don't want to see it, and immediately bring back up if you want to know what's going on. So it's a really nice integration, and very easy to take with you anywhere you go.
It's streaming, but more portable, right? Obviously with a laptop, portability is the number one reason you get it.
Yeah, portability is definitely one of the main aspects here. So instead of having to take another accessory on the road with you that you can't live without, in this case, it's simply built into the chassis of your laptop, which is really, really unique. The build quality from what I've played around with is phenomenal. It's really fun to use, and it's great to just have all this functionality in one package that you can just throw in your backpack and take with you wherever you want, whether you're going to a trade show, just a business event, or just traveling on vacation. This is just the laptop you're going to take with you anyways, just with the added functionality of Stream Deck. So portability with this thing is amazing.
So one of my favorite things that Elgato does is I have the face cam, and I love the Camera Hub software that allows you to kind of tweak the settings and things like that. That's built into this laptop too, right? Yeah,
that's exactly right. We're big fans of manually tuning your camera feed here. So having that level of control, even just for the built-in webcam, is really nice. The built-in cameras are never going to be the biggest, so they're going to behave quite differently depending on the setting and the lighting, and is there a window behind you? Is it dark? And so having that level of control for the built-in webcam really is a really nice quality of life improvement, and it's very intuitive to use, which is also great.
All right, thank you very much, Julian. That's awesome. All that stuff is, again, a world first. No other laptop has all that stuff built in. I really appreciate it. Would you mind sticking around for a QA after this?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to stick around and answer some questions from the community if anything comes up.
Awesome. So we have S-Key integration for Stream Deck, so you can go ahead and use the integrated software for all that. We have Camera Hub, so you can change white balance on the webcam no matter what room you're in. All that stuff is built in, so we have the best hardware for streaming in the world. But none of this would have been possible without the awesome partnership we have with AMD. So we have a special guest here, Frank Azor from AMD. Hey Frank, how's it going?
Hey George, thanks for having me today.
What is the AMD Advantage?
So the AMD Advantage is a platform that delivers the ultimate laptop. How we do it is we prioritize 3 key focus areas when it comes to the design and the development of the laptop with our partners like CORSAIR. The first is we amplify the performance of the laptop, leveraging our Ryzen CPUs, our Radeon graphics, and our exclusive AMD smart technologies. Second is we have premium displays on all of these laptops. So you can count on them having high refresh rates, low latency, impeccable color gamut. They're just going to look beautiful whether you're gaming, you're creating content, or you're streaming. And then third, every Advantage laptop has been built to game. And in the case of the Voyager, it's been built to game, to create content, and to stream your content. And what that means is that we've optimized every aspect of this laptop to do those 3 things for you. And the reason AMD Advantage is interesting is because you know that if you see a laptop on the market like the CORSAIR Voyager branded with AMD Advantage, you can trust that it's going to have incredible performance, a gorgeous display, and it's going to be optimized to do what you want it to do. Play games, create content, or stream your content.
Okay, so that's AMD Advantage. What are the AMD smart technologies?
Yeah, so AMD Smart Technologies, think of them as the technologies that bond AMD's Ryzen CPUs and AMD's Radeon graphics processing chips, our GPUs. And the way they work is, because we're the only company that makes both those high-performance CPUs and those high-performance graphics chips, the AMD Smart Technologies work by optimizing the interfaces between those 2 chips so that we can give you a better computing experience. So for example, one of our technologies is AMD Smart Shift Max. And what Smart Shift Max does is it shifts the performance, the power, from the CPU to the graphics chip whenever you're running a game or you're doing a high-intensity graphics workload. So you can get the maximum performance out of that GPU, that graphics chip. And then inversely, when you're doing something that is demanding on the CPU, we shift the performance, the power, the thermals, everything over to the CPU so that we can give you maximum performance out of that CPU. So that's how Smart Shift Max works. Smart Shift Eco allows you to get better gaming battery life. So if you're playing a game while you're on battery, you can actually get hours of gameplay out of most games instead of just a few minutes with other platforms. And then we have Smart Access Memory, which lets the CPU use all the memory that's inside the graphics card. Sometimes that can be 6 gigabytes, that can be 8, 10, or more gigabytes of memory. Before Smart Access Memory, the CPU could only access a tiny fraction of that memory. But AMD Smart Access Memory gives the CPU full access to that memory, and in some cases we see games performing as high as 15, maybe even 20% faster when we turn that feature on. So these are just some of the features that we have in the AMD Smart portfolio, and these are features and technologies that only a company like AMD can offer a platform like the CORSAIR Voyager, because we're the only company that has both those high-performance Ryzen CPUs and those high-performance Radeon graphics.
So obviously it was great building a laptop with you guys and coming up with that, because we'd never built one before. What was it like for you guys?
for us, it was a really exciting opportunity to work with a company like Corsair, who has so much experience in gaming and streaming and in content creation and in the whole DIY channel, to just be able to put our brains together and our engineering teams together to go off and build a really unique and first of its kind product. And that's what we're so proud of with the Corsair Voyager. It's like truly unique and first of its kind. It's the first laptop that delivers not just an exceptional gaming experience, but has been optimized for content creation and for streaming as well. And we've never seen a laptop like this before.
Thanks, Frank. I really appreciate that, and I appreciate your time today, man.
Thanks, George. Thank you, everyone, for your time.
All right, so that's awesome. We've seen the tech stuff from Kevin. We saw the streaming stuff from Julian. We've seen the AMD stuff from Frank. We're going to take a quick break and come back and do a QA and give some free stuff away. But before that, how about this cool video from AMD for all you visual learners who didn't want to hear us just talk about stuff for 10 minutes. Hey guys, it's George. We are now to the QA section, so we can start talking about the answers to the questions you guys asked on Reddit and in the live chat here. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a couple of front ones that we pulled. So first question, obviously, are you going to make an Intel and NVIDIA version? Right now, we're announcing the AMD Advantage version. We are always looking at potential expansion in the future, but for now, this is what we got, and it's actually a really, really solid platform. So I'm a big fan of it. Let's see. Let's see some Elgato stuff here. Okay, do the Voyager macro keys work like a Stream Deck? Hey, Julian, do you want to get a little bit more specifics on that, on the differences?
Yeah, do the macro keys. So I assume you mean the S keys, and they work exactly like a Stream Deck when it comes to executing actions. The difference is obviously they're not LCD keys like Stream Deck keys are. And so to get around the sort of the visual part of it, we have this hovering or floating action bar on the bottom of your screen that you can pull up to see the status of your Stream Deck actions. In terms of configuring the S keys, it's exactly like a Stream Deck. In terms of the actions that are available to you, exactly like a Stream Deck. You have access to all hundreds of plugins, to the royalty-free music library with tens of thousands of songs and sound effects. So it's all the same in that regard. It's really a full-fledged Stream Deck.
Okay, cool. And the other question, this guy from the Discord chat named The Heretic, he asked, can you disable the touch bar? I think the answer to that is yes. You can turn it off. You can turn off just the S keys. You can turn off the display, the center display, or you can just disable the whole thing, right? So, okay, that's question for those guys. I've seen a couple other questions about color options. Do you guys offer anything besides black? We at Corsair are not going to offer anything besides the black version, at least not right away. But on Origin PC, which is our customization PC-centric site where you can do a lot more customization, they will be offering versions with customized backplates. So you can change out the backplate for a different color if you like, and maybe even look at designs and stuff. So they'll have that up and going. Webcam resolution. That is a full 1080p webcam. Someone asked that question. So that's the resolution of the webcam. Let's see here. Let's go a little bit more on Elgato stuff. So, okay. What is the case made of? Oh, that's one more. What is the case made of? It is an anodized black aluminum material. It's actually really nice. It's only about 3/4 of an inch thick. Actually, I have one here. Hold on. So you can see how thin this is. For a laptop that is a 16-inch laptop, it is surprisingly small and thin. It's a really nice device. So you can throw it in a bag and not even notice it really. Well, I mean, aside from the fact that it's 16 inches and weighs like 5 pounds. Let's see. What else are we looking at? Julian, so tell me a little bit about like content creator stuff right now. Why is streaming from a laptop something that people are starting to get into? What use case is that?
I think on the high end, it's for travel, right? A lot of creator partners of ours, when they haven't been traveling much the past 2 years, but as we return to normal, when you're at trade shows, when you're at events, when you get invited by publishers, being able to continue creating, especially live streaming, and not just taking a week or two off, is very, very important to our partners. So having a laptop like this that packs so much tech into one device that you can just throw into a backpack is really, really nice. I think for up and coming creators, if you're looking for just a great gaming laptop, really the top of the line gaming laptop, and you're interested in getting into streaming, then you've got a lot of functionality already baked in. You can basically put on a very high quality stream with just your laptop and then really see if you're enjoying it, having fun, and want to continue upgrading over time.
Yeah, I think it makes sense a lot, because I think that streaming kind of takes the step from being, a hobby for people, and then it became a career, and now it's almost essential, right? Like whether you're streaming to Twitch or whether you're just streaming on a Zoom call or on a Teams call, streaming as a terminology has changed completely thanks to COVID, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. The Stream Deck integration is, I think, often associated only with Twitch streaming or the like, but you can use Stream Deck for so much more. So with this laptop, if you're using it predominantly for video or photo editing or any other creative workflow, then the Stream Deck integration can tie into that as well. We see Stream Deck being used in video editing, in music production, in all kinds of creative workflows. And so just having everything in one package, I think, is a game changer. And I think for a lot of creatives, this is going to be a lot of fun to use.
Yeah. We did have some comments, also questions on the pricing. A lot of people are asking about the pricing. So there are basically two models hardware-wise. There's the 1600 HS build and the 6900 HS build, so a Ryzen 7 and a Ryzen 9. Both of them come with the 6800M. The 6900 version comes with a 32 gigs memory instead of 16 and 2 terabyte NVMe drive instead of 1 terabyte. They're both available in either Windows Home or Windows Pro, Windows 11, of course, so you can choose which one. The Ryzen 7 version with Windows 11 Home is $26.99 US, and the top of the line Ryzen 9 with the Windows 11 Pro is $30.49. But there's kind of steps in between there, so you can get either with either thing. So there's 4 total SKUs right now at launch, and they go between $2,700 to $3,050. So there's the question for you guys on pricing. And the good news is they're available right now. You can go on the website and order them. So go on the website, go on CORSAIR.com, place an order. I think there's a limited edition bundle right now where if you buy it, as supplies last, you can get a backpack that is custom designed to hold it, and it looks really good. And that's like it gets available for $1 right now if you buy the laptop until those backpacks are gone. So I don't remember how many backpacks we actually have on the website too, but if you buy one of the pre-orders and you put it in there, it'll ship with the backpack for $1. So that's kind of a nice little bundle for those of you guys who are interested in carrying around your laptop. Which I guess everybody is. That's why they're buying a laptop. So there's not a huge number of them, but that is a limited quantity. And once those backpacks are gone, they're pretty much gone. So let's see here. There's a couple other questions here. So somebody's asking on real world performance statistics. Obviously, we can give you some frame rates and stuff like that, but realistically, it depends also on what performance mode you have set, right? Like a laptop can be set to quiet or balanced or extreme mode. And obviously battery life changes and everything depends on whether it's running off the wall or plugged in. So for example, here's a benchmark we did. We saw at max settings at the 2560 by 1440. Like Far Cry 6, you can get 83 frames a second out of it on ultra stats and stuff like that. So it's more than playable. It's actually really fast. You can get, some games will be running in the hundreds. So like F1, you can run in the 120 frames a second plus. Hitman 3, Resident Evil, stuff like that will be 120, 140 frames a second. So the 1600M is a really solid mobile GPU, and you get really good performance out of it. So there's something that's pretty nice about it for those of you guys who are actually interested in performance. The nice thing that I like about it is with the NVIDIA Advantage stuff, it shares memory between the CPU and GPU a little bit more efficiently than most platforms do. So those of you guys who are worried about, that type of stuff, it's really useful for that. So I'm a big fan of making the most of every single bit you have on the thing, whether it be in memory or GPU RAM or whatever. So this is a pretty nice setup for that. Someone asked also the max TDP, the power target. So again, the TDP consumption depends on what performance mode you have set. So for example, a quiet mode or streaming mode, you can have it to about 45 watt target, but it can go all the way at extreme mode up to 130 watts TDP, 147 actually, depending on whether you're plugged into the AC adapter or not. So yeah, it's completely customizable, and obviously noise levels will change based on which setting you're at and how much heat you're generating and things like that. But it is very, very quiet. If you put it on quiet mode or just unplugged from the wall and you're sitting there, just browsing emails or whatever, it's actually very, very quiet. You barely even notice it's running. So there's that. Let's see. Okay, here's a good one. Julian, for you, what about Camera Hub and Wavelength? So it has a built-in 1080p webcam, full HD webcam, and it does work with Camera Hub, as we talked to you earlier about it. I'm actually using a face cam right now with Camera Hub built in to the software and everything, and I use that to adjust the white settings for this exact shoot. So can you talk a little bit about how you might use Camera Hub with this thing?
Yeah, so one step back, what is Camera Hub? Camera Hub is a piece of software we developed for our first webcam, Facecam. And it's basically software that allows you to fine-tune your video settings, really almost like you would a DSLR. So for the first time in a webcam, you had the ability to manually control your shutter speed, your ISO, you get real-time readouts from the sensor around white balance, etc. And so a lot of these features translate to the webcam that's built into the Voyager laptop. So it's just another nice piece of software that allows you to manually fine-tune your experience depending on your setting. As far as the microphone working in Wavelength, I can maybe give a little bit of a teaser that is something that we're working on and hope to have more to share later this year.
What is Wavelength for those of you guys who don't know what Wavelength is?
Yeah, so Wavelength is Elgato's digital mixer software for content creators. It basically lets you take in all of your audio inputs. So your microphone, maybe your music from Spotify, your chat over Discord, your game audio, maybe your soundboard through a Stream Deck, and anything else you might be receiving audio from. And then it lets you mix the audio from all those sources into what you hear locally, and then completely independently what your audience or what your stream hears. And so your audience could be on a Twitch stream, but it could just as well be on a Zoom call or in a Teams meeting. So it's a very powerful piece of software. It also lets you add effects to any of your audio inputs in the form of VSTs. So you can add effects to fine tune your microphone. You can also add effects to improve the quality of incoming audio, right? So if you're in a Discord call and somebody's got a lot of background noise, you could actually throw a noise removal filter on that Discord audio and have better audio coming in. So a lot going on. And to tie everything back together, Wavelength can be fully controlled as can Camera Hub with Stream Deck or with the S keys on the Voyager. So it's quite a nice software suite for creators that you're getting with this laptop.
Okay. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Is there anything else you want to talk about Elgato-wise before we let you go?
I think that covers it. There's probably a lot to talk about on just the pure tech specs of this thing, so I'll leave you to it. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Julian. Thanks for coming in, man. All right, let's go do another question here. Someone asked for how hot is the laptop under load since it's made of aluminum. I have not noticed it being obnoxiously warm or anything like that. The thermal performance of it with the vapor chamber and the fans do a really good job of pushing that heat out of there. It does, the base will absorb heat because it's sitting on the base and it's aluminum, but it's not hot enough that like when you pick it up, you're going to burn yourself or anything like that. It's warm, but it's not a big difference from a plastic housing laptop that I've noticed in that respect, except that it's obviously much stiffer and better feeling when you pick it up. It feels a lot more rigid and feels just more expensive. It feels like a nicer piece of hardware for sure. Let's talk about that. Also on the Origin PC version, I was mentioning, someone asked about the custom colors and I said something about that earlier. They do offer UV print to customize the top. So you can do upgrades on the aesthetics of it, but you also can upgrade the RAM and the SSD through them. So you'll be able to, if you wanted to do more than 32 gigs or more than 16 gigs on the SKU version or more than a 2 terabyte SSD or something, it's possible that the Origin site will have that customization available. Someone in the chat also mentioned it's not on the website yet. It will be really quickly here. It'll be up today. So keep an eye out. It'll be peeled. Here's some of the customizations you guys can see in the renders. It looks really good. I think they do a really good job of it. So if you want something that looks a little bit different than a black aluminum laptop, originpc.com is the way to go for sure. Let's see, next questions. Is the battery replaceable? Yes, you will be able to replace the battery in the laptop. So CORSAIR has always been about, you know, being able to upgrade and build your own and do things like that. So you'll be able to see a version of the laptop where if the battery goes bad after 4 or 5 years or whatever, and you want to replace it, you can do that. So that's pretty nice. Let's see, with a QD QLED OLED screens. No, right now, this is the screen we're launching with. We are going to see, obviously, we don't have any intention of just selling one laptop, but we can't talk about future products. We can't talk about the specifics of them. So eventually there will be a full family of laptops that will, you know, dominate the planet, and everybody will have a Corsair laptop and be pleased with it. But as of right now, this is our laptop, and it's, I think, probably the best first launch of a laptop I've ever seen. I am biased. I do, you know, work here. I have the name on my shirt and everything. So I think that, you guys will be really happy with it. I think anybody who buys this laptop will be pretty stoked about it. I've been playing with it for a couple of weeks now, and I'm very impressed with it. The team did a great job. It's taken a long time. Someone asked why the touch bar is exposed and the laptop is closed. That little screen can show you battery life and things like that, but it does do a pretty good job of that. So I think that it's not a requirement. It doesn't stay on, take battery life or anything like that, but it's you can program it to show battery life and things like that. The other thing, the keyboard. Two of my personal favorite things about this laptop that I want to talk about. One was the decision to go with a 16:10 resolution screen instead of 16:9. I might be in the minority on this, but I love having that little bit of extra vertical resolution. When you are scrolling, you know, on the websites or you're going to look at anything, 16:10 is so much more useful for productivity. Yeah, you know, instead of 2560 by 1440, you're at 2560 by 1600. So you only get 160 pixels, but that 160 pixels makes a big difference when you're actually using it, right? So if you're going through and scrolling up and down through a website, or you're looking at an Excel document, or you're watching a movie and you want to have the chat with your friends on the bottom, it's so nice. It's pretty good. I really like a 16:10 screen. So I'm a big fan of that. The other thing I love is the keyboard, and I will show you guys. I know you won't be able to see it pretty well, but this keyboard is fantastic. So, you know, I've had a bunch of keyboards and I really love the chiclet layout, but I hate the really soft rubber dome feel. So this is with the MX low profile switches. It is amazing. This is my favorite laptop keyboard I've ever used. And I'm not making that up. It's fantastic. And as you can see, the touchpad is massive. It still has the protective thing on it right now, so I haven't taken it off on this one. But this touchpad is, you know, it's the size of my head, and my head is not small in many ways here with the ego and physical dimensions. Let's talk a little bit about the screen as well. So 16 by 10. The other thing that I like about it, not only is it, QHD plus, but it's also 240 hertz refresh. So you can actually run really high end and do all that stuff. Get all the extra resolution, or not the extra resolution, the extra refresh rate. So I like running high refresh screens even when I'm not gaming. I like using them just because the Windows experience is better. So I really like that. I use 165 hertz Xenon monitor right now, and 240 would be great on a laptop. So that's pretty nice, I think. Let's see. Let's go through some questions here. We're going to do some giveaways too. Let's see if we have a giveaway. We have some stuff here. We are giving away. Okay. Okay. Let me look up the giveaway. While we look up that giveaway, we're going to run a quick video for you guys here. Let's run that real quick. Hey guys. Okay, so as a heads up, we did mention we'd be doing a giveaway. So let's give away one of these awesome laptops. So let's see here. You can enter for a chance to win the Voyager laptop right now. It's the bundle here. They're going to be posting details in the chat on that, I believe. CORSAIR.com/live has the info, so you guys can go there and enter that and see what you can get there. We also are going to give away some other stuff too, but let's go through some more questions here. So, here we go. Does it have USB-A or just USB-C? It does have a USB-A right there on the side. So it does have a USB-A 3.0 port right on the side of it. It has 3 USB-Cs that I can see there, obviously. And you also need your headphone jack and an SD card reader. So pretty nice setup. Keeps it pretty slim. So that's nice. Let's see what else we got. Speakers. Someone asked about the speakers. So it does have built-in speakers. They're laptop speakers, and no laptop in the world is going to compete with the nice headphones or a set of discrete speakers. But they're pretty good. They have Dolby Atmos tuning, so you can actually get really good sound out of a laptop speaker. But yeah, if you're looking for immersive game stuff, you're going to want a set of headphones. I prefer when I'm using the laptop to use the wireless version of these actually, or the slipstream version of these, so that I can use the slipstream that's built into the laptop. I really like the idea of building in the slipstream there, so you can use a wireless mouse or wireless headset, even if you wanted to take a wireless keyboard with you and just have it integrated into the laptop without worrying about the dongle or anything like that. Let's go through the next question. Okay. Okay, so this is the giveaway. Go to corsair.com/live and you can enter right there on that. You can see what's on the screen there. Let's see. More questions. So battery life. Someone asked about battery life. That's a good one. In quiet mode, you're going to get, I would say, 6 to 8 hours, depending on what you're doing with it. If you crank it up to extreme mode for max frame rates, it'll chew through the battery a lot quicker, obviously. So you'll get 2 to 3 hours in that mode, depending on the game. In standby, if you just take it off the charger and throw it in your backpack, it can go 12 hours or longer. So you can do that, obviously, but that's not using it. So realistically, anywhere from 2 to 8 hours, depending on the mode you're in and what you're doing with it. Let's see. Are you going to make a 13 or 14-inch version? We don't talk about unannounced products. Sorry, guys. So that's something I cannot answer for you. Let's see what else we got. Okay. What do you guys think here? What's the next question? Let me scroll through this chat and see if I can find one. Is there going to be a cheaper version? We don't talk about unannounced products. Sorry to depress you again, man. We could launch a more expensive version if you want to, but we don't talk about that either. Is the keyboard membrane mechanical? It's a mechanical keyboard, so that's pretty good. The trackpad is really solid, really good trackpad. One of my favorite features of the trackpad is that it actually has built-in ability to disable either half of it, which is kind of cool. So you can see it here. I'll show you guys. Excuse the fingerprints because I've been touching it here, but this left half and right half of the trackpad have a little double tap at the top corner where you can disable just one half. So when you're typing, you don't accidentally hit it, and you don't have to flip a switch or anything. You just double tap that corner, it turns it on, double tap that corner, it turns it off. Really cool setup. I think it works pretty well. I was really pleased with using that, and I thought it was a nice feature. So something that from a usability perspective, we thought about, or the guys who built the laptop here at Corsair spent a lot of time thinking about how people use laptops. That's always been the balance you have with a big touchpad, right? It's great when you're using it to scroll back and forth or to drag windows around. But when you are, actually typing, you might accidentally, hit it with your wrist or your palm and change something. So being able to flip it on and off is a really good way to do that. When I'm using my laptop, I usually use the wireless mouse, so I turn the touchpad off for the most part. Let's see here. We are doing a good job with these giveaways. I think you guys are doing a good job signing up from what I can see. Can you control the cooling mode in iCUE? Someone asked that question. iCUE is installed in the PC, and it does a lot to let you control not only the lighting of the keyboard, but also lets you change the power consumption and cooling mode. So whether you go into quiet or balanced or extreme, you can do it all through iCUE. You can change the backlighting, set lighting profiles. All that stuff is done through iCUE there. So that is, yes, you can do all that through iCUE. It is required if you want to customize all the settings and everything. You do that through iCUE. That's the software we use to do all that. So Stream Deck is integrated with iCUE to control the S keys on the top of it. So that works really, really well. Someone also asked, is all of the AMD stuff going live at launch? So the AMD Advantage and AMD Smart features. Most of the features are live. There are a couple things that AMD is going to be releasing with driver updates in the future. So for example, the Smart Tech is working out of the box, but through driver updates and things like that, they will have a full roadmap of all the different features they're going to be enabling through the Smart Graphics or Smart Access Graphics and Smart Access Storage. Will be going through over the next few weeks, and that's up to AMD's launch schedule, but most of that stuff works out of the box. Someone asked about an MUX switch, which is what lets you turn off the graphics so you can do better battery life. NVIDIA calls theirs Optimus, but it's basically just a switch. So yes, it does have a smart switch in it, so you can turn the graphics off through software like that. Let's see, more questions. So there are 2 slots. For someone asked how many slots are there for SSDs, there are 2 slots. So you can add an additional drive easily in standalone mode, or you can do an AMD RAID on it. So that's a question I saw somebody ask. Can you do 2 drives together? Brightness of the display. The peak brightness of the display is 625 nits. So that's a good one for you guys. Yeah. For those of you guys who are wondering, this entire stream is produced on a Voyager laptop, so we're doing it all here. I'm not this one, obviously, because it's not plugged in or anything or doing anything, but this is powered by my PC that is all Corsair, obviously, since I get a good discount. Let's see what else we got going on here. Hold on one second. We have... Oh, Thunderbolt question. Yeah, it is a Thunderbolt laptop, so it does have Thunderbolt 4, but it's not the full Thunderbolt 4 stuff that you guys might expect from, because that's an Intel only spec right now, but it does do Thunderbolt 3 full and the USB 4 stuff, so you have all that set up. Does it have fingerprint sensor? It does not have a fingerprint sensor built into it. I'm sorry, I misspoke. When I said Thunderbolt 4, I meant it's Thunderbolt 3, not Thunderbolt 4. Intel's Thunderbolt 4. This is a Thunderbolt 3 laptop. Let's see here. With LCARs in the background, can this run Star Trek Bridge Crew in VR? Sure. I mean, it's got the horsepower to do it. Is there any throttling on this laptop? There is. If you have it in extreme mode and you're running with the full setup on that, you will not have any thermal throttling on it, as far as I can tell. I've never seen it happen. It's theoretically possible. Okay. Hold on. Again, I was wrong about something. It does have a fingerprint sensor. My apologies again. So let's see here. The camera does do Windows Hello, I believe. Yep. Okay, so if you guys have any questions now, let's post them in the chat. I'm going to answer the base specs, Ducky Gaming. All right, Ducky, the base specs of this are Ryzen 7 6800 HS with 16 threads, obviously, and that's a 4.7 gigahertz processor. Comes with 16 gigs, 2x8 of DDR5 4800. They all have 6800M graphics, which is a 12 gig card with DDR6. They all run 2560 by 1600 screen at 240 hertz IPS screen. It's a matte screen, so it's not super glossy, which I love. I love the matte screens. MX low profile switches. The stock version, the base version, comes with a 1 terabyte PCIe M.2 drive. And the upgraded version comes with 2 terabyte drive. They all have an extra slot. The Wi-Fi 6E, of course, which is nice. Bluetooth 5.2 for those of you guys who are using Bluetooth peripherals. And I'll just go through. It does come with the USB 4 Type-Cs on the side and a USB Type-C port on the right, on the other side too, with a 1 USB Type-A port and an SD card reader. So if you guys are concerned about the performance, someone asked how big is it, how much does it weigh? It weighs 5.3 pounds, which is about 2.4 kilograms, I think. And the dimensions of it are 14 inches by 11.2 inches by about 3/4 of an inch thick. So it is an extremely, really thin laptop. So you guys can see that right there. 1-year warranty on it for those of you guys who are asking. All right, let's see. Any other questions? Is it liquid cooled vapor? Is a vapor chamber in there? Yeah. All right. I think we're getting close to the end of the stream here. Don't forget to go to Corsair.com live giveaway. For those of you guys who don't remember the pricing, it is available at $26.99 for the base version, up to $30.49 for the high-end version with Windows Pro. You guys can go on the website and order it today. Again, the bundle is, if you order it today, you get the backpack for $1, which is nice. It's a custom backpack. It's not just like some random thing you can find it at Walmart. It's a custom Corsair backpack. It's branded and everything. It's got a cool design to it. And we actually spent some time thinking about it. And it does fit the laptop in the laptop sleeve perfectly. So there's that. And if you guys have any other questions, or you asked a question that you don't know if it's been answered, feel free to watch the stream. It'll be on YouTube. You can go and watch through it again and see the whole thing from start to finish. And you guys can check out the page right now on Corsair.com here. You can see on the left on the screen, and you'll be able to order the laptop. Again, that's the base version at $26.99, and you can go with the difference of 4 different models. So you can go with the Ryzen 7 or the Ryzen 9 version with Windows Home, or the Ryzen 7 or the Ryzen 9 version with Windows Pro. So feel free to check it out. Go ahead and order one, order a couple. Hey, give them away for Christmas. Put them in the backpack. It's going to be fun. All right. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. You guys will be awesome. The next time we see this product, you guys will have even more options, I'm sure. Again, OriginPC.com will give you the version that you can do the custom backplates on, really cool designs, and anything you guys want to do. So thanks again, and look forward to seeing you guys next time we do a stream.
You know what's getting
limit.